It shall. There's no point advantage to any player, as we did have a single elimination bracket today rather than double. And because of that, we are going to be guaranteed at least 3 games.
At
most 5.
At least 3 games. Before we dive into this, I want to give a massive shout out to Chileno Singaporean in the chat. I apologize, didn't give you a shout out earlier, but thank you so much for resubscribing for 19 months in a row. That's a lot of months, Papi.
Months.
Yeah, he's legal.
That's legal, yeah. Everywhere. As we kick off our grand finals now on Inside and Out. It was legal. Here in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner, we of course have our red Seren player coming down from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Prep Esports. I don't remember who said this earlier, but I'm going to steal something from chat here.
Yeah.
He's feeling like a star. You can't stop his shine. He's loving this map. He is Honmono. Wait, no. Honmono. Honmono.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Polish Protoss player himself. He is pink, representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. And I also want to give a quick shout to someone in the chat. Who was it? Alive in the Wired. They explained, and this makes sense, in Japanese it means the real thing, the OG basically. Ooh. And that makes sense because if you remember, Honmono is South Korean, but he is currently living in Japan.
That does make a lot of sense. Yeah, it's also not what I thought you were going with that.
What do you think I was saying?
I thought it was going to be like, it makes sense because, you know, Honmono, he's a real G back in the day.
What does that mean? What? Oh my.
I thought that's where that was going, but yeah. It makes sense. Honmono, he does understand Japanese enough to actually live there.
Yeah, I'm curious as to whether or not he grew up in Japan or he moved there for studies. I'd love to one day find out. But for now, so far, pretty standard openers. Honmono did open up with, again, prioritizing that wall on his ramp to try and keep his build hidden, but he's still going for that CC on the low ground. So pretty standard overall. And Krystianer didn't even care. He didn't even go for a probe scout this game.
Yeah, he is wise to the ways of Honmono. He knows that if he were to send a probe out, he's not going to see anything. Now he sees a couple of Reapers. Honmono's still committed to the Reapers right now.
Yeah, exactly. Honmono going for a very aggressive opener right now. The Hellion reveals itself, which means Krystianer is now fully aware that Honmono plans to dive in and try and roast up a mineral line.
Yeah, we're going to get... Or Krystianer rather is going to get his defenses ready. We're going to be ready to pull the probes if need be. Already has enough units.
Yeah, can he wall off in time as well? That's kind of the real question. The first Adept is already pretty low on HP. The Adept will be going down but with this second Stalker. Looks like Krystianer will be able to hold on to his natural base for the time being. Reinforcements are on the way. Can he wall off in time? Up!
He may not need to. He's got the Stalkers, and he's already dealt with one of the Hellions. Again, that's the main damage dealer for,
True.
at least for probes. Reapers are mostly here to fight the units, but actually, they're getting quite a number of kills on these probes. I vastly underestimated them.
Yeah.
All it takes is one Hellion volley apparently to weaken them enough.
Yeah,
one shot.
Even though there was only one Hellion, like, Honmono was so careful with keeping it alive. He was so careful with getting those money shot Hellion volleys as well on those workers. So 7 probes go down. Well worth it here. He also gets a full scout. I say a full scout, quickly checking his vision. Honmono did not see the opener. He did not see the tech.
Yeah, all he knows is that there's a gateway thrown down, and he also saw this robo facility from much earlier on. But other than that, yeah, he's playing pretty blind. I guess the robo facility is a little bit of a tell in PvT. Your opponent is going to be a bit more ground focused. You don't have to worry about Stargate or anything, but Yeah, there's always that little bit of doubt in his mind.
Yeah. I mean, because of the robo, regardless, like, he's going to be preparing here just in case Stalkers plan to be aggressive across the map. He already has 2 tanks, one covering his natural, one covering his main. He knows that a Stargate robo opener isn't really a thing, so he shouldn't have to worry about keeping Marines in his mineral lines. And the Stalkers, with them moving out, they shouldn't really find too much damage. Thankfully, Krystianer isn't really investing too much into this aggression. He's focusing a lot more on his expansion.
Yeah. That's Krystianer for you. He likes to keep his options open, as we have seen in the previous couple of series, just in case his opponent throws out sheer nonsense and he needs to switch gears.
Oh, exactly. And speaking of sheer nonsense, Mono, he's pulling the boys.
You love to see it.
Oh my god, this is scouted here by Krystianer. He's trying to kite as best he can. I mean, these Stalkers are going to be doing so much damage to this army as it tries to come out across the map. I love that Mono, he's actually trying to push forward with his tanks because his tanks can be repaired. The Marines cannot be healed from taking that damage.
Yeah, if only Marines could be repaired. But it's not the case right now. Nice little volley off on top of that army. Picks off a Stalker and weakens the rest of them significantly.
Yeah, exactly. Has to be so careful not to be caught on siege. He's leapfrogging forward with his tanks. We have 1 Immortal, a 2nd Immortal is on the way. We have a shield battery and overcharge available here at the natural.
I tell you what, though, now we have 2 Banshees, which I was kind of doubting initially, not gonna lie, Light, but I guess it makes sense now. It's a lot more consistent than something like a Raven.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, 1 Immortal goes down. It looks like a 2nd Immortal is going to survive with the Unsiege. The Stalker's coming from behind.
Very ballsy blinking coming up from Krystianer, but it is paying off big time for him. All of the tanks are gone, and that was the backbone of Mono's army. Krystianer may have sustained a couple of losses here, but it's nowhere near comparable to the sheer amount of damage he was able to do to Mono.
Yeah, the flanking Stalkers were insane. He caught the reinforcements. He caught the tanks as they were on siege as well. All 3 tanks were picked apart, and now Mono is forced to retreat. He doesn't have a CC behind this, by the way. He's still stuck on 2 bases. He was forced to pull workers earlier. He's down when it comes to SCVs. The plan from here, I think he's gonna pull the boys again.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. He's taking gas though. Yeah.
The thing about the previous push is that he didn't have enough boys.
There you go.
He pulls the boys now.
I mean, that's the problem, right? Like, sometimes you need more boys to pull. That's the thing, right? You need to know the exact amount that you need. Meanwhile, these big Stalkers are still wreaking havoc in the main base. Stim only just now started, so these Marines are having such a hard time dealing with these Stalkers. The Stalkers, they're killing so many workers, not just workers, Marines as well.
Yeah, as much as I do like the Banshee control coming out from Mono, it's just a little bit too much. I mean, finally the Stalkers are going to get dealt with, but after 12 SCVs, 1 more tank, which is super important to take note of, and the majority of his Marines, this is looking unsalvageable for our Red Terran player.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this 3rd CC may even be forced to be canceled. We see that Krystianer's trying to focus it down as best he can here with his Immortals. It looks like he's being distracted a little bit by these Marines. Looks like he thinks he can take down the Marines, but the Banshees surprisingly are going to clean this up.
Again, the Banshees haven't really taken that much damage throughout this game so far. Very nice control coming up from Mono, but everything else has very much been going Krystianer's way. I mean, he even saw the attempt at getting a 3rd base and decided, you know what, that's a good time to get a 4th. Just in case I'm not able to kill this. And he is anyway. GG. Krystianer takes game number 1.
GG, well played. What a game number 1. Again, it looked like a pretty promising push, but it also got scattered pretty early on. Krystianer, it was very important that he had his Stalkers waiting outside the base. He also had an observer in between the main and the natural as well, so he knew, or he actually saw the SCVs as they were being pulled, and yeah, a really strong response to that.
Yeah, and normally, you'd expect the Protoss player to kind of paralyze themselves in fear after seeing the boys being pulled, but not Krystianer. He is made of tougher stuff than that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. He was forged in the fires of Ziggy, mate.
Ziggy and Spirit.
True, that's the thing. You gotta bear that in mind, man. When you're living in the same country as Ziggy and Spirit, like, mate, you've seen it before. Like they got their own cheesers over there in Poland.
And Poland just got the monopoly on on insane Terran players. Every other country in the world, aside from maybe Korea, has like standard Terran. Not Poland. They are built of something different. As we... Okay, I was alt tab for some reason. Continue our best of 5 grand finals here on Tropical Sacrifice. Here in the top right-hand corner map, swinging all the way in that top right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player coming on from the land of Korea, but currently residing in Japan. He is the real OG. He is representing Prep Esports. He is Hon Ono.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, we have the pink Polish Protoss player himself representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. Currently up 1-0 in this best of 5.
Yeah. People are getting a little bit antsy in the chat. Okay, I didn't want to bring that up, but what Steel just posted there. But yeah, people are getting a little bit antsy in the chat, talking about Widow Mine drops. And if you'll recall, I believe this was the map where Honmono did just Widow Mine drop Night Phoenix into submission.
Is he crazy enough to go for a proxy factory? Is he crazy enough? There's the factory! Here we go. So with this proxy factory, it's looking quite far, so we're not going to see a Rampiculo. We're not going to be seeing a white Idra like floating a factory into the main base or anything like that. But this should be for a proxy starport as well. I think it may just be more of a vanilla Hellion drop, but we'll see. We'll see.
Mate, you underestimate the sheer insanity of Hamono. You know why he had to go to Japan? Because he knew Ziggy was going to Korea, and there wasn't enough room in that country for 2 mad Terran players.
There could only be one, mate. They knew that they had to split up for the sake of the country, for the sake of the nation of Korea and their mental health. They had to separate, and here we go. There is that starport. It is going to be Hellions. There was a part of me that was hoping that there was going to be like an armory thrown down or something, but unfortunate.
Yeah, not this time, but maybe soon.
Maybe soon. Krystianer once again being a little bit risky, not going for a probe scout, so he's moving out across map with his adaptive twins. His scout overall is going to be a little bit late. He's still going to be locked out of the main base, so he's a little bit in the dark. He doesn't know if there's Raxes, if there's a CC, if there's he just doesn't know.
Yeah, well, scouting this should send a little bit of a heightened alert here for Krystianer anyway. Even if it is in the end going to be, even if it's going to be, say, a high ground CC or something like that, he knows he can't take that chance, so he is going to be preparing. He is, once again, going for Blink. Very versatile opening for defense.
Yeah, Krystianer, he's scouting around his bases. He's checking the third base locations to make sure there is no proxy right next to his base, but the drop is already coming in, and it looks like Theater barely sees the medevac. He knows.
Oh, yeah. He caught the shadow of the medevac right at the end, and I'm loving this wall.
Yeah. Wow, the SimCity is just too damn good. We still don't see a single volley coming out here.
Dude.
2 Hellions go down immediately, and this just hasn't done anything.
The Hellions dropped in, and they drove the hell away. That's how good the hold was here for Krystianer.
Exactly. Like, again, because of his opener, because of his building positioning, he was ready for anything crazy like a Hellion drop. He didn't exactly know what was going to be coming his way, but he was ready for it anyway. We do see that Honmono is trying to transition into a Widowmine drop, and maybe he can find a little bit better success.
Yeah, considering SimCity going on there, you know, Krystianer is going to have to react very, very quickly to be able to pull his probes away. It's good SimCity for a Hellion drop. Not so much for a Widowmine drop. Thankfully for Honmono, he wasn't neglecting his Marines. Does have a little bit of defense here.
Yeah, the Adept goes down. Meanwhile, we do have that drop coming in, and Krystianer, he's not looking! He's not looking!
He's very much preoccupied. 4 probes go down in the main base. A couple more here in the natural. Only 2 more.
Only 2 more, but you know what? The wall is not a wall. We have a mule to try and lock in those stalkers, but the mule misses on the ramp. Ay, ay, ay. And because of that, these stalkers are still wreaking havoc. Vanilla Marines are never going to be able to take down these stalkers. Like, this is just almost too much damage.
Yeah, Honmono, he was trying to go for maybe a couple of Marauders over there, but he did not have the gas. GG, he even acknowledges, that was really good SimCity coming out from Krystianer.
Yeah.
We're not 3 hours into this broadcast yet, Light, and Krystianer is 1 map away from winning his 2nd ever Sparkling Tuna Cup.
Exactly. Wow. GG. Well played. As you were saying, as Honmono was saying, again, that SimCity was just beautiful for Krystianer. It's everything that he needed in life. Oh, and with that, he is able to take game number 2. And now, does it all end here? Does it all end here? Can Honmono take a game off of Krystianer? Can Honmono be the first to take a game off of him, off of Krystianer this entire tournament?
Oh, wait. Arrowfire did that.
Arrowfire did that earlier. True. Can he be the first Terran?
No, we'll see. We'll see about that.
We'll see. We'll see if he can bleed as we are diving into game number 3. Potentially the final game of the entire tournament.
We'll see. Hopefully not. I mean, it would be a shame not to get a full 5 games out of this particular matchup. I mean, there's so much potential. But we'll see as we continue our grand finals here on Moondance for the first time tonight. That's our bingo. And in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner, we of course have a red Terran player coming down from the land of Korea, but currently residing in Japan. I think it's late there. Oh no, it's not that late. He is, of course, going to be representing Prap Esports. He's feeling like a star. You can't stop his shine. He is Honmono.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Moondance, we have the Polish Protoss player himself. Once again, representing Team Blazer, 1 game away from becoming our Sparkling Tuna Cup 22 champion. It is Krystianer.
Getting proxied again.
Yeah, much more standard proxy, less committed and less all in. Bear that in mind as we have 1 Rax at home and 1 Rax out on the map.
Yeah, things are looking pretty normal for the time being right now, but if that probe stays around and sees, wait a minute, your natural base is late, or you're not getting a factory or anything like that, that's going to send alarm bells ringing.
Oh yeah. It is going to send alarm bells ringing. It should as... Oh my god!
He's committed! You love to see it, or at least I do. Concussive shells would make a lot more sense than what I was hoping for.
What are you thinking? Wait, like Ghost Academy?
Like, yeah! Yeah, EMP probes, and then, you know.
Yeah, cool. The probe is moving out to try and scout. He's checking his 3rd base location, which is normal. He's going to be checking over here towards the 4th as well. He has not seen the proxy yet. So far so good here for Honmono, and Krystianer is moving over to the other side of the map.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but, you know, maybe this proxy is far enough away that regardless, Krystianer will have time to react. I think he has confirmed that there's no natural base, right?
Yeah, he confirmed that there was no CC on the low ground at least. Meanwhile, a couple of boys are being pulled here for bunkers. So far, the natural base is looking quite exposed. When it comes to units, we have a single adept to defend here for Krystianer.
Yeah, that's less than ideal, especially now that a couple of boys have been pulled.
Oh, exactly. The adept has a lot to work on. He does take down one of those SCVs. Pylon is going to end up falling. This bunker is 100% going to finish, and the goal of this bunker, as it's in range of the Nexus itself, is for Honmono to maybe take that out at least.
Yeah, it's going to act as a very good sort of falling back point for the Bioforces of Honmono here. Still continuing to produce more and more Marauders. That's the most important unit he can get right now.
Yeah, and he's going for the kill right now. He doesn't care about the natural base. He has that little outpost. He has that little vantage point that he can always fall back to. But so far, sidestepping has been pretty good. He targets out his MSCV.
Oh no, that was a massive kind of blunder there for Honmono. Now Krystianer, he will have to give up the natural base, I think, but he does have the Immortal out. There should be no way for Krystianer, or for Honmono, sorry, to push up this ramp.
Yeah, exactly. So again, the secured amount of damage is getting a kill on this Nexus, so he's locking Krystianer down to 1 base. He was able to kill 9 probes. Not bad. He's going to try and go up this ramp, and there is still no sentry. Sentry's a little bit late. Ooh.
Concussive Shell, very important right now to try to slow the kiting of that Immortal. But in the end, Sentry came out just in the nick of time. I don't think the Immortal actually took any hull damage.
Yeah, it barely managed to survive on full HP, or it looks like 1 damage. He's got 199
wow.
HP.
Math.
The power of math. It looks like he gets away, only taking 1 hit point of damage. Meanwhile, Honmono, he can go back home and transition. And what is interesting is that he is not letting up on the aggression. If he wanted to, he could have thrown down a CC behind this and been ahead economically. But no, instead he goes for a 1-1 follow-up for the starport and factory first.
Yeah, I think this is the right move from Honmono, honestly. If he tried to catch up earlier on, then he basically put both of them. He basically put himself on an even economic position as Krystianer. He'd make it all even. Whereas now, you know, he's a little bit behind when it comes to his economy, but he's a lot ahead when it comes to his army.
Yeah, and this rack scout is pretty important as well. Honmono, he confirms that there is going to be a Nexus on the way, so Krystianer himself isn't going for a 1 base all in. He's confirming to see if there's maybe a double expand follow-up or something crazy like that instead. Krystianer, it looks like he wants to be a little bit aggressive though as he moves out. Oh.
Yo! Ho, ho, ho! Tech lap?
That'd be crazy, Yako. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, he's not committed to this. He just wants to block the pocket.
Yeah. The drop is coming across the map. 1 Immortal and a handful of sentries, some Adepts as well. Doesn't have the most firepower, but at this stage of the game where we're working with very few units, it could do something. But look at this defensive position.
Yeah, very well placed tank. If the Immortal could ever get on top of that tank, then, you know, it will wipe it out. But do you really want to juggle the Immortal in the Warp Prism when, you know, there's that many Marines guarding it?
And is that really what you want? Meanwhile, it looks like 1 depot may go down. The Immortal actually targeting down one Marauder for its troubles.
I get something. Limits the supply of Honmono by a little bit. Krystianer really wants to get these tanked.
Yeah.
But there are just enough Marines to keep the Warp Prism at bay.
A little bit greedy there from Krystianer, but thankfully he isn't punished for that. He's just kind of testing the waters a little bit. Also, Honmono has to be very careful when he decides to push down because of these sentries. He can have his army cut up, but it looks like that was the last force field here for Krystianer, so he doesn't want to overstay his welcome.
Yeah, there's always a chance for him to try to cut up the bioforces and, you know, shave off a little bit of them at a time, but doesn't want to risk it right now.
Exactly.
But he does want to tech up.
Yeah, he's going straight into a dark shrine, and that can be devastating. I'm sure Honmono right now wants to do nothing but make mules because of his economic position. At the same time, we see he's also playing with fire a little bit here with this prism, keeping Honmono busy and also getting a full scout of the main.
Yeah, it confirms 1-1-1. Yep, you're getting everything on the way. You're mining.
Oof.
You're mining.
You don't have a 3rd CC at the pockets or anything crazy like that. He also confirms the tech lab on the starport, so there are banshees that are stuck at home. They're not harassing across the map. So he's going to be feeling pretty good about himself right now.
Yeah, especially if he's actually able to dodge the Banshee projectiles. That was sick juggling coming out from Krystianer. And Honmono pulls the boys without the knowledge of Krystianer.
Yeah, he dips in, but here we go. We have a recall. He recognizes, hold on, your mineral line is suddenly empty. The boys are being pulled, but the sentries are at home. They have enough energy to force through the ramp.
Yeah, this is absolutely where Krystianer wants to fight right now. It's a little bit of a risk. You know, he's fighting outside the range of his Nexuses, and actually, I don't think he has any shield batteries anyway. Oh no, he does. He has
1 shield battery right now. We do see that across the map. DTs are being morphed in. Raven is on the way. Can the Raven come out in time, though? DTs are one way that Krystianer can maybe win this.
Yeah, I mean, he's already deleting the worker count right now of Honmono, so as long as Krystianer survives this, he is going to be looking so good to winning his second ever Sparkling Tuna Cup, and that's a massive if when the bio is closing. It's closing the grounds between them and the Immortals.
Yeah, here we go. The DT is here. We have one scan in the chamber. DT goes down. The second DT takes down one of the tanks, but that was only one of 4. There are still 3 more behind this. The mineral line is under threat. We do see a cross map. DTs are wreaking havoc, but the Raven is out.
The Raven is out, but there's no reinforcements at home.
No reinforcements at home.
Up.
Yeah, the probe drilling kills all the tanks.
Very nicely done, but once again, these Banshees are just reigning supreme. He just needs a couple of Stalkers, but I don't think he has enough resources. Okay, those are a couple of Stalkers.
Oh my god, we're in such a weird position. Honmono is down to 1 SCV. Krystianer is down to 8 probes in total. It looks like the Stalkers are barely enough to push these Banshees away, but the tank!
He doesn't have Blink, does he?
No, he does not have
Yo.
Blink.
Yo!
What is happening right now? The boys are being pulled. Yeah, the CCs are coming back home again. We have a Raven, so DTs aren't going to end the game. Krystianer's knocked down to 1 base, but he still has mining.
He can turn those DTs into an Archon potentially, but I'm not sure if that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I'm not sure if that's better or worse than keeping them as DTs, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Krystianer on this.
I love this. He's gonna take the natural.
and then he can mine.
Yeah, he can mine. The Archons are coming on in with the power of mules because we don't need scans anymore because of the Raven. He can start mining here from the natural base. He still has a little bit of production. He's working on a second Raven.
Man, if Krystianer surrounds this, oh no, he recalled. He can't surround this.
Yeah, he recalled. He cannot surround. He's got 4 units right now. He's got 1 Archon and 3 Stalkers. He's coming in.
Yeah, he's trying to tank the shots here from
the disable.
Everything, but the disable is absolutely huge.
Wow.
There are no shield batteries. No, there's 1 shield battery. My mistake.
1 shield battery.
And there's an overcharge, and it's keeping this Archon alive. the Archon is now fighting the Banshees.
The Archon survives, but it's only a single Archon right now. The overcharge is about to run out. The Archon is going for the mineral line.
Yo, and I don't think the Banshees can actually out DPS the Archon, can it? There's no disable.
He's got another disable. Does he?
He does have turrets, though. He does have turrets. He does have turrets.
Oh,
is this gonna be enough? The shield battery has energy.
The shield battery barely keeps the Archon alive. We have another Stalker as well. It looks like barely all 3 Banshees survive. There's 0 energy left. The Stalker goes down. We're back to only a single Archon.
This is really good kiting on the Banshees here from Honmono. Krystianer, he's trying to back them into a corner, but Honmono is not taking it. Finally, a Banshee goes down.
Banshee does go down. We're down to 2 Banshees remaining here for Honmono. Autotard is going to be zoning away the Stalkers and the Archons. We're down to 5 probes versus 4 SCVs. The Archons, they're pushing on forward, mate. They want the middle line. Another auto turret to zone away. I'm a little bit afraid that Honmono, he's a little bit trigger happy with these auto turrets.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, Krystianer is just baiting out these auto turrets really, really well. These Ravens with no energy, they're dead supply. Completely dead supply. And the Banshees are almost dead. Just dead. They're not even gonna be supplied pretty soon.
They're almost dead, mate. They're almost dead. Honmono needs something else. He goes for the repair here. He's able to outzone the army. He's able to take down one of the Stalkers as well. Everything is being lifted. The Archon. This Archon is insane. This Archon is literally winning Krystianer the game right now.
Before it was an Archon, there were 2 DTs that completely wiped out the mineral line, and now as an Archon, it is, like you said, just winning Krystianer the game. God. It is everything right now.
This Archon has 22 kills.
and that doesn't take into account the kills from the DTs.
It's true, mate. It's true. Everything gets thrown all the way across the map. We do see the CC's landed, which means we can see a couple of mules just to repair. We have to be very careful with how we use mules, though, because Honmono doesn't have a lot of minerals.
Yeah, he's being pretty conservative, which he should be. Repairing 1 Banshee at a time, and if these Banshees go back up into full health, I think they may be able to tank a couple more volleys from what Krystianer has.
Yeah, the Archons, they were trying to hunt down these units, but we'll see a recall back home instead. Oh, and now I think it's a good time to go back to the production tab. Krystianer is still making nothing but workers. 1 CC has been spotted by this pylon, but we have a ninja base here towards the left.
Is the game actually going to slow down at this point?
Out of minerals.
Are we going to try? Are both players going to try to get back to a stable economic position? I mean, not the worst idea in the world, but not something I thought would happen after the sheer insanity that we just witnessed.
I mean, we'll see, because once all these units get topped up here, when it comes to repairs, like, Honmono still has production. He has a Rax here. He can make Marines in his face. He still has, he's still got 111. He still has the proxied Rax from earlier over here as well.
Yeah,
he still has production. He just needs a little bit more economy.
Yeah, he may not have any gas or any gas mining right now, but eventually he'll get there.
Yeah. Like, Honmono's got to make some units soon, because this CC has pretty low HP. This CC could die.
Yeah, there's not a lot of dead air to retreat back to. Honmono, I think he's being a little bit too conservative with his units here.
Yeah.
He really needs to dive in. Instead, Krystianer has time to react. He picks up that Stalker, keeping it alive without blink. And now, I mean, Krystianer, he may not have recall, but he can just turn the hell around.
Yeah, and it looks like that CC died. We're down to one base mining here for Honmono. It hasn't been scouted, but Krystianer, he is hunting down those Banshees, and it looks like he may just stumble upon it.
Yo!
Oh my god.
I love this. He's actually using the Warp Prism to power the gateway.
We need units.
Just to get a little bit more units.
Marines are on the way, but the Marines are so far away. The Archon's coming in.
But we do have disables and auto turrets if he actually targets down the Warp Prism.
He gets the Archon. Archon goes down. The MVP Archon with 25 kills goes down. Another auto turret could be thrown down as well. Oh my god, this Prism barely survives. That was a clutch disable.
Wow. Extremely clutch disable. If the turrets, if the turrets were, focused a little bit more on the Prism maybe, then I think Krystianer would have just tapped out, but instead, he's staying on. He has fought so hard to get to this position, and he does not want to give it up.
He doesn't want to give it up, mate. He is trying his heart out right now. He's going for a Stargate behind this. A Void Ray would just end the game, I feel. Like, Void Ray would be insane if he manages to get one up and running. As you were saying, I agree that he was a little bit conservative earlier. I would have loved to have seen some auto turrets here in the mineral line or something to just harass, to just keep the economy down of Krystianer. But now I think it's a little bit too late. Stargate, it finishes. Phoenix!
Now you can tell that this is something that Krystianer was planning from very, very early on. Yeah, Phoenix, not a bad choice here as well. They're a lot quicker. They can, dive on top of the units.
We have 3 Banshees.
A little bit more effectively, yeah. We do have three Banshees, but you know what? Nothing shoots up.
Nothing shoots up. It looks like Honmono, his winning condition here is to kill the Cyber Core, which means no more Stalkers. But who needs Stalkers when we have Phoenixes? Phoenixes come on in, but thankfully we have 3 Marines to zone it away. The Stimless Marines!
The barracks are actually useful!
Barracks are useful, puppy. They're helping. Oh my god. Oh my god. And here we go again. He has to be a little bit careful. The Raven is going to go down.
Yeah, one auto turret does get thrown down, and it does help a little bit. We do have Marines that are being produced, but they're moving a little bit too far away from the support of the Banshees, from the support of the auto turrets, and because of that, I think Krystianer has enough to overwhelm now. Yeah,
I think the Phoenix is going to be too much. They take down the Banshee, they take down the Raven as well. With the power of the Phoenixes, Banshees just don't hold a candle here. Everything is falling, and Krystianer, somehow, some way, he's been able to pull it off. It's crazy.
Somehow, some way, we've been able to witness this.
An 18-minute game. One base versus one base.
An 18-minute game of tier 1 units.
Yeah.
No, 0 upgrades. Literally 0 upgrades.
0 upgrades made. 0 mining here for Honmono. Everything is going to get cleaned up. With the power of the Phoenixes, again, the CC is going to be hunted down. We have 1 Cyclone on the way. And GG gets called.
Throw in the well plate there as well, because my god, what a game to end the tournament. Krystianer wins his 2nd Sparkling Tuna Cup. I think we might have just witnessed what Bexty Mnap is in the distilled into a single TVP.
I don't even know what was happening that game. GG, well, like, it was insane how we saw a base trade, we saw DTs. I love that the Ravens came in and we actually had mining for both players and things kind of resumed. I agree with you that I think that maybe Honmono, there were moments where he could have been a little bit more active with his Banshees, especially when it came to just hindering the economy of Krystianer and keeping him behind so that things could continue to be scrappy. But like, how often are you in that position? You know, like,
how often are you in that position?
Never.
This is the only time I think I will ever